Hey friends, and today a shocking story. Living guitar legend Brian May almost died. Coming up this Tone Tuesday. Before we hit our main story today, I just want to take a moment to thank you, and this goes out to everyone who's commented on my most recent video covering white collar fakes. I've been so impressed at the level of response. Not only that, but every comment has been polite. They've also been eloquent and reasoned. I found it difficult to disagree with any of them because they've been so well articulated. I've long said that this channel attracts nice people and smart people with intellect and reason, but this recent video has drummed that home 100%. So I want to thank you for the great discussion. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll link it in the description down below, as it's well worth having a look at, and I welcome and look forward to reading your comments on that as well as today's video. Our main story today. I've long been a huge fan of Brian May and Queen, and he was one of the first celebs I followed when I started on Instagram back in October 2018. I was back checking my Instagram this morning when I see another post from Brian. However, this one was a bit shocking. Firstly, I don't go on Instagram every day, so I'm not that up on social media platforms other than YouTube. So this morning I saw a post from Brian, who always signs off as just Bri, and he's thanking everyone for their kindness and their get well messages.
I'm overwhelmed. I'm really more than touched by the torrent of love and support that's come back at me after the incredible coverage in the press. I really didn't expect all that. As you can see, I'm okay, but you know, this is going to sound really strange, but my email box and the save me box and everything else is so full of incredible messages. I will never ever be able to thank you all individually, so let me please at least thank you here.
So I was immediately concerned, as I know he's been having some trouble, mainly with his back and leg pain, and also a suspected ripped muscle. In fact, he posted a worrying Instagram just a few days ago where he was on crutches. But this message today sounded more serious than muscle pain, and so I looked back on his previous post and I was shocked to the core that, as it turns out, he's actually had a small heart attack. Not only that, but it was no trifling matter. Brian actually states that it could have killed him, as 3 of the major arteries to his heart were blocked, meaning that blood flow was being restricted.
I had no idea. I had great electrocardiograms and whatever, you know. Nothing could tell me that I was about to be in real trouble, because I could have died from that, from the blockages that were there.
As a result, he had an episode which lasted 15 minutes, during which he showed all of the signs of a heart attack. He had pains across his chest, he had pains in his arms, and he also had cold sweats. Scary stuff from the King of Queen. Fortunately, Brian was being treated for his other ailments, and what's more, his doctor was very fast thinking and decided to drive him to hospital himself, in no less than his own Rolls-Royce Corniche. Nothing like travelling to A&E in style, is there? What a doctor to have. The hospital did another MRI scan, then decided that Brian needed an angiogram, which is where they view your heart via an artery in your wrist or sometimes the groin, but in Brian's case it was the wrist. They told him that they needed to talk before taking any further treatment. Doctors advised Brian that he needed open heart surgery, which is a major operation and would have seen him out of action possibly for months. Open heart surgery requires breaking the breastbone, and so recovery is notoriously slow and painful. You wouldn't wish that on anyone, but least of all a guitar hero like Brian. Anyway, thankfully he was advised that there was another option that was much less invasive and could be done almost as an outpatient, meaning he'd be up and walking the same day as the op. This option was obviously preferable, and so Brian elected to go this route and had 3 stents implanted. A stent is a small mesh tube that holds open passages in the body, such as weak or narrow arteries. Stents are often used to treat narrowed coronary arteries that supply the heart with oxygen-rich blood, and this was the case for Brian. So his stent will open the narrowed arteries and allow adequate blood to flow to his heart. Stents are also sometimes used to treat the aorta if it has an aneurysm or bulge in it, and the aorta carries blood from the left side of the heart to the body. Stents can also be used to treat stroke and other narrowed things like airways in the lungs. Having a stent placed is a minimally invasive procedure, meaning it's not a major surgery. Stents can and most often are implanted using the same method as the angiogram. So Brian was given 3 stents to open his narrowed arteries, and he was up and walking the same day, so all of us fans can breathe a sigh of relief.
There was a lot of pressure from some quarters to have the open heart surgery where they saw through your rib cage, really open you up and open your heart up, and have a triple bypass. A lot of pressure, and a lot of people said, if you don't do this, you're throwing away a terrible, your only opportunity, and you would regret it for the rest of your life. But I had other people telling me, look, you don't need to do this. You can have 3 stents put in and you can walk tonight or tomorrow morning. So after a lot of thought and deliberation, I opted for the stents. And the next day, actually the same day, I went in there and they did it. And it wasn't that easy, but the only reason it wasn't easy for me was because of the pain, the excruciating pain I had in my leg. Otherwise, it would have been a doddle. I mean, they had to kind of put me out in the end because I was writhing about and pulling the tubes out because the pain was so bad in my leg. But when I came round, it was as if nothing had happened. I couldn't feel that they'd been in here. I couldn't feel anything, and I still can't. It's been amazing. It's an incredible operation done by the right skillful person, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart. Because I walked out with a heart that's very strong now, so I think I'm in good shape for some time to come. And if I'm not, we can have another angiogram. I have this feeling that like everybody from the age of 60 onwards should have an angiogram whether they have any problems or not, because that's the only thing that can tell you. I had no idea. I had great electrocardiograms and whatever,
Brian is notoriously fit and healthy and with a good diet. He's also, like me, a regular cyclist. So it's shocking that he had any cardiovascular disease, and it should serve as a warning to us all to monitor and report even seemingly minor chest pains or issues once you get to the age of 50 or more. So hopefully Brian's scary escape will serve to raise awareness of heart and vascular issues for all of us in the guitar community, and encourage all of us to be vigilant and seek medical attention if we experience any chest pain. My own maternal grandfather died of his 3rd major heart attack way back in 1981 now. He was only 63, and that's no age. So friends, if in doubt, get checked out. Thankfully, it looks like Brian will be around to delight us for many more years to come as a result of finding the problem, getting diagnosed quickly, and having urgent treatment. I'm sure you'll all join me in sending our best wishes to Brian for a speedy full recovery and relief from his other pain very soon. As ever, my good friends, I wish you well. Please stay safe in these uncertain times. I'll be back on Fretted Friday, so I hope you'll join me for that. But in the meantime, as always, take good care.